DNA tests could destroy your family as you know it.
Here are 5 stories that get increasingly more crazy to prove her point.
Starting with number 5. DNA test revealed my dad is not my biological father. My mom is still lying about her. Should I confront her?
Yeah, duh.
What do we think? Carrie, Sam?
No, totally.
No, totally, or yes,
No.
totally?
Yes, totally.
Yes,
Totally,
yes,
do
it.
Totally do it. Yes.
I think even if it could destroy the family, I think go for it, because are you going to carry the weight of the knowledge that your mom is lying?
That is the question, but there's only one way to find out.
Spill that tea!
Highway Gullaby 3998 says, this is going to be a long one, so buckle up. A little background. I am going to be 30 in a couple of months. I have 2 older sisters that are half siblings. We share the same mother. She was married before getting together with my dad. I also have a younger brother that I have thought of as my full sibling. There are a number of reasons I have wanted to get a DNA test, but never had the guts to do so.
Because you're opening Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Until recently.
Oh, Pandora's box opened.
I never talked about this with anyone other than my spouse, but 2 years ago, I went to my brother and asked if he would do a DNA test with me, which would reveal if we are indeed full or half siblings.
I wonder what made her come to the conclusion.
Yes. Why are you suspicious?
There's got to be something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some skeletons.
Which is kind of interesting because they were told they were half siblings and are like, maybe are we full? It's usually the opposite.
Were they told they were half siblings?
I believe you're right.
I don't think
I
so.
went to my brother.
Because they did say
I also have a younger brother that I thought was my.
That I thought. Maybe some foreshadowing in our mix.
But I see you in the comments if you see what's about to happen. I wanted the DNA test because I do not have a father listed on my birth certificate. So that
sus
is why. When my mom was pregnant with me, she didn't tell anyone until she was about 6 months along. She was not with anyone at the time, so family members asked a lot of questions about who the father was, and she never gave it up.
Huh.
No one was there at the hospital when I was born.
It's like a mystery box.
God. She has told stories of answered questions I've had as a kid or an adult where things didn't really add up, and my mom lies all the time. I honestly wouldn't even believe her if she told me the sky was blue.
Damn.
Stopping really quick, pit stop right here.
Trauma.
Do we think that OP is going to find out that they're not full siblings?
I mean, by the fact that OP said, I thought that was my brother, I'm thinking possibly not.
Moreover, why would she make a big post about it if it wasn't true?
Exactly. We're on Reddit, of course.
Wow.
Come on.
Dang, I'm
There's
dealing
going to
with...
be some tea, and we're going to sip it delightfully.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Some late night tea.
2 months ago, my brother and I finally went forth and did the DNA test. As no surprise, sure enough, we are half siblings.
Oh.
Wow.
That's spicy.
One of these daddies ain't adding up. This wasn't shocking to me, but obviously I had a lot of questions. My mom at this point still had no idea that we took the test. So I asked my sisters, who were 7 and 10 at the time that I was born, if they knew anything about her pregnancy, when I was born, when I was growing up, etc., etc. They gave me the information they could, as well as another family member. At this point, I called my dad and let him know that we took a DNA test, and he told me he always knew and that it would change nothing.
What?
Wow. So the dad's like, I know that you're not my kid, but I still think of you as that's honestly great, because we've read stories where it's like, oh, you're not my kid biologically. Bye.
After like 20 plus years.
I mean, at that point, come on, you got to have some kind of bond, right? Unless you kind of knew the whole time.
Unless you knew the whole time.
I also love how OP's kind of Sherlocking their way through this story. It's like, I went to the aunts, I went to the uncles, I got the DNA test, like going deep.
Oh, super Sherlock vibes.
Yeah, some forensic DNA.
Oh, God. Now,
investigation.
Let it be known, it also changes nothing for me. I just wanted to know if my mom was really lying to me all those years.
Which sounds like she was.
Yep.
Yep. I started asking questions, piecing together information. Back to our Sherlock vibes. Turns out when my mom and dad got together, she was 23 and he was about 12 years old.
What?
Y'all, the math literally ain't mathin'. I'm thinking, well, so here's the breakdown. This dad isn't his dad.
Yeah.
So the whole time, Did Opie not know the dad's age?
I mean, I don't know if you've seen in the news with like the teachers hooking up with their like 8th grade students.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It happens.
But I think what OP is saying here is like that, like, oh, it's obvious now because of the age difference.
You never questioned. I thought you were Sherlock, OP. You never questioned that your dad was 12 years old.
It's a pretty big clue.
Maybe she had maybe they had a hunch, which is why they did.
Yeah,
the
why
test
they did
in
the
first
test.
place.
Yeah,
It's true. It does seem that OP kind of like low key knew, and the dad knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Because he was probably like, I didn't give you a baby when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, that's
You know, some kids start shooting early.
Shooter's gonna shoot. Now, okay, hold on. More context into the story. They were not officially together, but she definitely started the grooming process at that point.
Wow.
He went on to get emancipated and started couch surfing, often living at her house. When he was 17, they broke up. He moved on, and next thing you know, she comes in and says, I'm 6 months pregnant and it's yours. So basically right around the time he was becoming an illegal adult.
That's
Illegal. That's illegal.
yeah, that's bad.
Yes.
That is illegal.
Yes.
This woman is a pedo.
Yeah.
She had spent years grooming him and making him whatever she wanted him to be,
What?
to the point where
Yikes.
he would believe anything she said.
Well, because it was a child. He was super impressionable.
Literally a teenager.
I mean, if you're
yeah.
groomed for years and like basically fully brainwashed, like, and also a dude dating an older chick,
Yeah.
listen, you're going to believe whatever she says.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yikes, dude.
He fully believed I was his child, so he moved in. He didn't go to the hospital when I was born because he was underage.
No!
God.
That is screwed up, guys. This is screwed
so
up.
fucked.
He was never listed on my birth certificate because my mom always had some story about how that was illegal.
Because he was 17.
Duh.
Because she would have been imprisoned.
Oh, this is nasty, guys.
Anyways, when I was 3 years old, they officially split and he started asking for visitation with me. My mom said no, so my dad was going to take it to court, and that's when my mom revealed that he was not the biological father.
Worst time to find out.
Oh,
I feel so
So
bad for my
he's
boy.
known the whole time.
literally since he was 3 and 20 years old.
What? Why?
The father
Wow.
was 20 years old.
Why did he stick around? I mean, I props
Respect
to
it,
him.
yeah, but it's like at that point, it's like, yo, you got groomed, bamboozled, all of these things.
And you don't even have a relationship with the kid yet. So,
Yeah.
like, why choose to stick to someone who is obviously so manipulative?
Good question. Knowing this, he went back to be with my mom because that's
Yep.
the only way he would be in my life.
That makes sense.
I mean, well, think about this. He's seen this kid from birth to 3.
Yeah.
And maybe at that point,
I
he's
th-
like,
yeah, I guess at 3 you probably have a relationship.
Enough of
with-
a bond.
And
Yeah.
also, I wonder if part of him, like in a twisted, like effed up way, wants to be with her still.
maybe he might want to be with her still. Also, maybe he's like, I want to be an adoptive father
Yeah.
of this kid. Maybe a little of both, possibly. A year and a half later, they together had my brother and went on to stay together as a couple until 2012 when they officially split for good.
Wow.
Never married or anything like that, but still a very nasty split.
Wow.
My dad also let me know during that time he was living with her off and on after he was emancipated because he's literally a freaking child.
Yeah.
She would throw parties at the house and all the young boys in the neighborhood would come over and basically do whatever they wanted.
What?
What?
God. He gave me a name of who my potential father could be. So he probably knew, hey, this is someone who was a regular at the house.
Wow.
He probably saw what was going on. Oh my God.
And so when I was like 15, I was walking with a bunch of my friends down
Yeah.
the street, having a great time.
Yeah.
And then I walked headfirst into a pole and broke my nose.
Oh, that doesn't sound very fun.
Okay, well, at least I thought I broke my nose. I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, wait, you didn't break your nose. You're just being a whiny little baby.
That's not something doctors should say.
The nose was still bothering me, so I went back to a different doctor.
Okay.
And that doctor was like, you did break your nose, but now there's nothing we can do.
What are we doing? These are terrible doctors.
We need better doctors, John.
And I think I know a place where we could find them.
That's ZocDoc.
ZocDoc is the only free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online.
We're talking about booking appointments with top-rated and reviewed doctors and specialists.
You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance,
Are located near you,
and treat almost any condition you're searching for.
and supporting them helps you boys. So
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free.
then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP. ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Oh my God. And since all of this has come out, I have had family and friends come to me and give me another name of who it could be. I believe it's either one of these two people, but that's not really what's important here. Having all of this information under my belt, I finally confronted my mom. I told her I did the DNA test, why I did the DNA test, and what the results were. At first, she laughed and told me to stop joking and called me a brat.
What?
Sus, dude. Sus.
That's fucked.
When I sent the legitimate results, she said it was impossible. DNA tests were just wrong.
They're like right 99% of the time.
Yeah, it's like the 1%.
Yeah,
You're
I think it's a
wrong.
99.4% or something like
But
that.
Sam, this is the 1%.
Yeah.
This is the 1%.
0.06%.
It's
literally.
there. It happens. Imagine being part of the 0.006%. Like that would suck.
Yeah, it's like, I swear I didn't do it, babe. I don't know.
That's
either
what the test says.
yeah.
It's 0.06%, buddy. What do you think it is? And that's
Six
the one.
people out of every 1,000 people are just like, fuck.
You're one of the 6. That would be if we found
Which
those
is why you
stories.
get multiple DNA tests.
Yeah.
That
You
is
get one or
true.
two.
That is true.
Yeah.
If we found those stories,
Yeah.
part of the 0.6
DNA test done, gone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
they exist, I'm sure. So I needed to do the test again,
What?
according to my mom.
Oh, to see if he was part of those 6 out of 1,000.
She has spent the last 2 months making me feel crazy, telling me the DNA test was incorrect. I did a paternity test as well, which gave the same result, to which she says is also wrong.
Okay.
She said my dad somehow forged the results to persuade me away from her. All of the DNA tests, he keeps forging.
All wrong.
He
all wrong.
hacked into the mainframe of the DNA test place.
No one's hacking into anything, lady. There have been so many lies I have learned over the last 30 years.
Jesus Christ, 30 years?
30 years. She is a classic narcissist through and through. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't do this test because I wanted to know if my dad was my biological father. I wanted to know if my mom truly lied about it for the past 30 years. Family members, friends of hers, and even neighbors I grew up next to have come forward and said that she has spoken to them about this years and years ago. That's almost like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah,
The
why
whole
is she-
family knows.
That everyone knows, right?
Well, why is she lying to her directly? Like, what are you getting out of that? My God.
Truly. And like, also, why would you tell everyone? Like neighbors?
And
Really?
why wouldn't the friends and neighbors say anything to OP? I guess
Family,
it is
friends and neighbors, I could see that that's
Not your place.
A tough
Yeah.
one to weigh in on, but close family.
Yeah.
but it's maybe they're just like, hey, I don't want to open up this can of worms.
It
I
is
didn't even
still
know
tough.
how to open it up.
Yeah.
And we've actually had this question come up on the show, which I'll ask you all right now. If you're a semi-close family member, do you intervene when no one else will?
That's a really tough one
That's
because
a
it's
tough
like,
one, right?
do you really want to invite that?
It will cause drama in your own life for sure.
Yes.
I guess it's like, do you genuinely think this will help the kid?
Yeah. Is this actually going to improve the people that it's affecting negatively? I think that is a good question to ask. Now, everyone assumed that I already knew and were shocked that I was just now finding out. I have so many emotions regarding all of this. My head is reeling over the fact that I don't know who my biological father is. Obviously, major trust issues considering my mom lied for 30 years and is still lying.
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of an identity crisis because I'm like, who am I? And it's just been
Aren't
so
we all?
overwhelming. Truly,
Aren't
but
we
I mean,
all? Who are we in this universe?
I can only imagine.
And my mom isn't even like, I'm having those same questions, and my mom didn't hook up with a 12-year-old. So like,
Jesus Christ.
Like-
when you put it in that perspective, like that's
I can't
crazy.
imagine what OP is thinking.
I'm hoping this is a place I can come to vent, maybe get some support through people who understand crazy parents. And I'd also like a little validation that I'm not crazy, that 2 DNA tests are going to be accurate. That is the end of
You are not crazy, OP.
You Are Not Crazy. And that's all we have.
That's it?
right now. That is it. That is all we have right now.
Well, all right. I think the first thing we need to find out, and this is a Riley question, and we can look it up in the background, how accurate are DNA tests?
That is true.
Because I imagine there are a couple people each year or whatever when they do DNA tests that it's like, oh, I'm part of the 0.06% or whatever.
99.9, y'all.
Wow.
0.01%.
9. Is there more numbers after that? Is it like 99.99999? Like how many?
Oh, great question.
Like how many sig figs we're talking? You know?
How many? Sometimes lab conditions can make mistakes when processing the sample.
Okay. So when it's done right, it's 99.99, but there could be like some inaccuracies from human error. 99.99%. Wow, that's crazy. So 4 sig figs. I think that's how sig figs works.
I have no idea how that. I like figs.
You like figs? You ever heard of sig figs?
Sig figs.
Significant figures.
Oh.
We're back in like the biology and physics days.
The only significant figures I know is growing my bank account.
Hey, yo.
Oh, I respect that.
Only significant figure I know is Riley's hot bod. That figure go crazy and it's super significant.
Dude, it's the most significant.
How do you feel about that?
This isn't helping me, Riley.
What?
I'm trying to teach you math right now because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay.
Why'd you get carried in on this?
My bad, guys.
So, first quick question to you both and everyone watching.
Wait, did we make Riley uncomfortable just there for the first time ever?
Like, I'm cool with you guys wooing me, but like carrying it, I'm like,
sorry, guys.
Whoa.
Wait till Sophia.
Let her
gets
in on the
it.
fun, okay? Yeah, once Sam's
My
sister,
bad, guys.
once Sam's sister is here and we're all in here, that's gonna be a party.
I'm not used to women like giving me compliments, so that's like my fault.
Oh, okay. You're all good.
The first question is, for me, is the dad the a-hole for revealing the truth?
No.
No. You should. I mean, he's the a-hole for not revealing the truth earlier.
There we go.
30 years, like that's way too late.
Because the mom, sounds like a narcissist, all this stuff.
Yeah.
The dad actually cared for him.
Yeah.
Why
I feel
didn't he want to tell him?
the dad should have told OP at 18 at the very latest.
Yeah. 18 feels good.
Yeah.
18
OP
feels
knew
good.
at some point something was up, though, right?
Yeah.
He was suspicious
As soon
the
as
whole
there's
time.
questions from, like, I think we've talked about this before. I think it was in relation to like, when do you tell your children about drugs? And the answer was like, at the very least, when they ask.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it was literally this. It was like, when do you tell your kids your father is not your real father?
Yeah.
When
or
they
something
ask.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or when they're suspicious, and then you give them the truth. So yeah, I think OP's dad is the asshole for not saying further. Obviously, the mom, like, literal offender.
Yeah.
For sure.
Literally.
Really screwed up.
Yeah, so obviously the a-hole, but OP not the a-hole for being the Sherlock that OP is in finding out the truth of this whole family matter.
Final question. Where does OP go from here?
That's a tough one.
Right?
Just
Meditate.
because.
Go into the Tibetan monastery and figure out your place in the world.
That's one.
Yeah,
That is a good option.
To understand if you're a jaguar or something. Big mushroom trip.
Joshua Tree.
Church.
Joshua Tree. Church.
All
good possible paths.
Yeah. I think you need some mental healing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
you
some
need to kind of
spiritual
like.
discipline.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Go on a giant spirit quest, OP.
Do something for yourself, maybe. Give
Yeah.
yourself
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Just get a massage.
Yeah. Get a
treat yourself.
massage.
Get a massage.
There we go.
It sounds like when the North Koreans figure out like what is actually happening in the world. It's not just under the dictator.
Yeah.
This was what this sounds like.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. You know what these
The answer
North
to
Koreans need? They need
Yeah, treat
massages.
yourself there. But speaking of
If the
treating,
North Koreans had a massage and a mani-pedi day.
that would just solve everything,
it would
wouldn't
solve
it?
everything.
My God.
Who needs rice when you got fleek nails?
Speaking of treating yourself, do we have another story?
I think we do. Let's go on
Treat
and
me.
get into it. I will treat you and feed you this story directly into your mouth. I told my dad who his real dad is Am I the A-hole?
Oh, that's some like Inception shit.
Yeah,
right there.
for real. Your dad is my dad.
Oh, you gotta spin the top to see what's real in this crazy world. So this comes from Panel of Judgments. And they say, my grandmother got pregnant with my father around age 16, rather early. My grandmother has always manipulated my father, and he is a mama's boy. She brought my dad as a child in front of a man who denied being the father. Rough.
Very.
So it's just like, this is your dad. And the guy's like, nah,
No.
no.
God.
In 2021, I started to have more serious health issues. I asked my grandmother about health issues for both sides of the family since my biological grandfather passed away when I was about 1. Since my doctors couldn't find answers, I decided to do an ancestry DNA test and ask some closer DNA matches about my family's medical history. The results I got did not match my biological grandfather's family.
So this is, we're going up a level.
We're going up a level.
Wow.
We have the technology.
We really do, though.
My grandmother confessed he wasn't my biological grandfather and gave me his dad's real name, saying she didn't know much because they were so young, and to ask her sister for more info on their side, who told me all she knew. There was one family name that didn't match to my mom's side or the person my grandmother said was my grandfather when asked. So basically, we just found out the grandmother sleeping on the side with someone who was not what originally OP thought was her grandfather.
Yeah.
So there is a different granddaddy somewhere out in the universe.
Oh, geez.
And that makes it worse because that's a whole like extended family line.
It's a massive lineage.
This is like a long historical story spanning like decades.
Yes.
So.
Decades and generations.
Yeah.
I reached out to the closest cousin with that last name, and from what I told him, only one person matched, but he didn't have his number. I asked about health issues, and he mentioned a couple, but one specifically is an autoimmune disease, which would explain my symptoms. My doctors checked for it, and they believed I had it since birth.
Oh my God.
This autoimmune disease was also causing my blood sugar to drop below 20 around 2021, so I could have died or had a stroke/heart attack.
That's something we never even consider.
Yeah.
Is there like a
There's health implications to all of
there's
this.
health. Wow.
I also recently found out about muscle damage and heart issues, and I'm only in my 20s. So I found a yearbook pic of the guy. So the guy that OP thinks could be
The dad.
the biological grandfather.
Biological grandfather, yep.
And so we found a picture of the guy at 16. My cousin told me about on Ancestries, right? So finds a yearbook picture of the biological, quote unquote, grandfather at 16. And OP showed this picture of the biological grandfather to their family.
Mm-hmm.
And the family thought it was the dad because the biological grandfather looks so similar to OP's dad.
Right, which is a big sign.
Which is a big sign that they're probably related.
Right.
I had asked my grandmother a few different times if she recognized the name of the man that might be the biological grandfather, and she said no. Someone about the same age as my grandmother and the guy confirmed they all went to the same high school and said my grandmother was at the guy's house every single day. What do you think they were getting up to?
You know, they
Studying.
were listening to the radio.
doing the twist and shout.
Doing the homework.
Yeah.
Getting
Get jiggy with it, Johnson.
I reached out to a possible first cousin to talk to her about it first, but her father and uncle saw and told her grandfather. Oh, so reached out to a first cousin and are like, hey, I'm going to tell the source, the grandfather. So reached out to a first cousin that possibly is related, and then they immediately told the grandfather.
Right.
So the potential biological grandfather called me that day and confirmed that he knew and was, quote unquote, with my grandmother, saying she told him she was pregnant, but didn't say who the father was and then left town for good.
Oh.
He said he never denied his kids, which is what all mutual friends and fam said. So what he was like, hey, I was down to raise the kids, but she just skipped town.
She wouldn't give the
Didn't give him the
option,
chance.
Okay.
He wanted to speak with him and build a relationship with the father, with
Yeah.
OP's father. I told my father, telling him not to take anything out on grandmother because we don't know her reasons. I figured out who his real father is and what he said, and that he could call when/if he was ready. which is crazy to tell your
Imagine.
real dad, to tell your dad who their real dad is.
Yeah.
Insanity.
He talked to grandmother, who manipulated him into not wanting to talk to his biological dad.
No.
He said, she's right. I'm wrong. And also just don't worry about the DNA proof. She called saying I went behind her back speaking to my girlfriend and accused me of talking to her sister about him, as she was the only one who knew about him, knew about the biological grandfather.
So she's basically confessing.
She's
Like,
confessing.
I knew. Why did you tell
Yeah,
everyone?
how dare you tell? His own family knew about them, but that's where I caught her lie about not knowing the name of the guy I researched, and it proved she was intentionally hiding who my grandfather was, despite me having serious health issues, because literally OP's life is kind of on the line.
Yeah.
So, am I the asshole for telling my
No.
father who his biological father is?
No, I don't think so. There is so much stuff on the line. Like
Yeah.
OP's health issues, for one, can't really be dismissed.
100%.
That's not something you can just lie about. That's actually really fucked up.
I don't know if we've come across that situation where it's literally like, yo, I have
know.
a health issue that is directly tied to my ancestry and heritage.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
like,
that's
need to
why a
know.
lot of people do like DNA tests. Like I actually have a DNA test sitting in my room right now.
I did see it.
Yeah, I might get an injection this weekend that makes you live 30% longer. And so I have to do a DNA test before I get the injection in Austin.
My, how the turntables have turned.
Yeah, I know. So I might find some shit that
Oh, shit.
I'm not ready for.
Sam might read his own Reddit story on this podcast.
Mom, are you my mom? Dad, are you my dad?
I've seen both of his parents. It's a pretty safe bet that both of their children are indeed their
yeah,
children.
Sophia looks exactly like me. So
Literal clones. Have you seen Sophia before?
I think I've seen videos of her from TikTok.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a little scary, to be honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sam in a wig. I've seen the comments.
Sam
Oh my
in a wig.
gosh.
Damn. Put some respect on Sophia's name. Come on. Not to diss you, but yeah. Not this guy.
Why would you say she looks so ugly as you?
Oh my
God.
gosh. That's brutal.
Yeah, that is really tough.
Pretty brutal. But you know what? I want to be brutalized with every day, all day, 24/7, 365.
What?
This next story, Carrie.
Let's do it. Am I the asshole for using my partner's DNA to create a provocative artwork without their consent, leading to a family scandal and strained relationships? What do we have here, y'all?
DNA. I'm imagining like a Jackson Pollock painting that only appears under black light and uses their significant other's sperm to show up. And so it's just sprinkled on the
art.
canvas and it's like DNA art.
Do you need to be a biologist to decipher this message? Is it like a cruel, secret, hidden message that like
Oh, yeah.
only like freaking doctorate level like scientists?
How
Nah,
bad
I think
could
it's
it
just
possibly
come on a
be?
painting.
Just come on up in Jackson Pollock style.
I
Jackson
mean,
Pollock.
truly, I mean that could be what this is.
Okay.
Which is a very fancy way of saying that.
You have and you name the, okay, it's your, oh wait, this is kind of fucked up, but it's your son's sperm and you name it Jackson. Like, and it's a Jackson Pollock because you're jacking the son.
Or if your name is Jack and you're like, son, I have a gift for you. Your fallen brothers and sisters.
Oh my God.
Your
These
fallen
ghost
brethren.
babies are yours.
I would definitely burn that.
Rest in peace, all of
You would burn your
our
siblings.
ghost babies.
Oh yeah.
What?
You would burn your
I'm
Fake
telling your
news.
sister.
Yeah.
Damn.
If it's from my daddy's sack.
Be like, if you didn't get in
As
touch with an
incense. You would
egg,
burn it as incense. 'cause
No,
he
No,
wants
I
to
would not
smell
burn
that.
it as incense.
He
I
wants
would
to inhale it.
No, I definitely do not want to inhale that. Definitely not. That is not the infusion oils that I'm looking to sniff.
You want to get into the story real quick?
Let's do it. Save
Let's
me,
do
Carrie.
I am a professional artist and I've been with my partner 5 years.
Okay.
We have an adventurous relationship and often try new and unconventional things, both in and out of the bedroom.
In and out.
Okay.
I
He's
feel
a-
like we're going to get into some kinky shit really fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's art. It's provocative
art.
art using
Fluid.
It's provocative.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure it's a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah. I think it's going to be some bodily fluid.
Yeah.
For
no,
sure.
so at
right?
some
For
level.
sure.
So he's been always incredibly supportive of my career, and we frequently brainstorm artistic ideas together. That's
Cool.
cute. Couple goals.
I like that.
A few months ago, I came up with the idea to create an art installation that incorporated actual DNA from both my partner and me.
Okay. How are you getting the DNA? What kind of DNA are we talking about?
So I thought it would be a unique way to explore themes of love, intimacy, and the interconnectedness of human beings. To make it more provocative, I decided to use intimate fluids for the DNA samples without discussing it with my partner beforehand.
So
Wow. Do you say,
What did she do? Did she like blow them and then she's like, wait, I just gotta go to the bathroom really quick and then just like put it in a test tube?
Or like they like used a condom and then after the condom,
Oh,
they,
she
like,
collect it?
that is screwed up. That is fucked
reading
up.
the tea leaves, I think that is the theory. I think that is the one.
Collecting it. That's so weird.
That's
It's like that turkey baster kind of thing.
fucked.
Basically.
So I assumed, as the artist, he would be on board given our history of unconventional things together.
I want to know what the other things are.
I'd be curious to know. I spent weeks creating the installation, which included a large abstract painting that used the fluids as part of the medium. I'm telling you, it's Jackson Pollock.
How much fluid?
I was extremely proud of the final result and submitted it to an art gallery where it was accepted for an upcoming exhibition.
Whoa.
That's a big fucking deal,
That's
guys.
big.
I mean, it must have been great. I mean, the artwork must have been great, but
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No,
Good
literally.
gravy.
So to celebrate, we decided to host a small party for our close friends and family where I would unveil the artwork before the public exhibition. Yeah.
Like, honey, how did you make this piece of art? Well, first I milked my SO. Gotta get a little milk
my
in for the
God.
paint. Oh, it's so white on the canvas.
Why does it smell like bleach?
So here's where the problem began. At the party, I revealed the artwork and explained the concept behind it, including the use of our intimate fluids as part of the medium. That's real bold, telling your family I used my partner's.
What I'm saying.
And he's hearing this for the first time in front of all of his friends and family.
Yeah, my partner, who was hearing this information for the first time, were shocked and visibly upset.
Of course.
Our family and friends were also stunned, and the reactions were a mix of shock, disgust, and fascination. The party atmosphere quickly turned uncomfortable, and some guests left early.
This couldn't handle the beautifulness of the art. It's avant-garde.
Art is meant to
Cause
push
a
the boundaries.
reaction. Honestly, like real talk, if they had such a strong reaction, then the artist is probably doing something right.
That is true, but also, isn't there an ethical component of making art in a way that doesn't harm
Oh no,
anyone?
it's still fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still fucked up.
Yeah.
But the art.
The
arts.
artist.
If OP had just told the partner and the partner was okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't say anything.
Why? Why not?
Like
know.
right there.
I guess we're about to find out, but yikes.
So, exactly. The next day, my partner's conservative parents found out about the artwork
They're
and were
conservative?
appalled.
Riley, really quick. I'll ask the question afterwards.
They demanded we remove the piece from the exhibition and destroy it, claiming that it was a disgrace to the family. I refused, standing by my artistic vision and my right to express myself as I see fit. My partner, however, feels betrayed by my actions and wishes I consulted him before creating the installation. Exactly. No shit. No shit.
Common courtesy to ask your boyfriend if you could use his semen
This is so
in the
intimate
painting.
too.
Like this is relationship 101.
Yeah. It's just baffling why she never asked.
That is ass behavior, guys.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
gonna
sure.
lie. So since then, our relationship with the partner's family has become extremely strained. They've made it clear that they disapprove of our choices and feel humiliated by our artwork, or by the artwork. Additionally, some of our friends have distanced themselves from us, uncomfortable with the idea behind the installation. My partner and I are being accused of taking our art too far and for involving our families in something they consider obscene and inappropriate. So, folks and friends and family, families and everyone else, am I the asshole for using my partners and my DNA to create a provocative artwork without their consent, leading to a family scandal and strained relationships? Or am I justified in expressing our love and creativity in any way I choose, even if it means pushing boundaries?
I think it's an easy asshole on this one.
That's
Easy
an easy
asshole.
For sure, asshole.
I'm just kind of like, here's my question. If OP had asked the partner, is this okay? And then the partner was like, yeah. And then I think, I feel like they could have been okay, or at least having a sit down conversation for OP to be able to express, here's why I want to do this. Here's what it means to me. Here's you know the importance of art to me. I think the partner could have come out of that being like, yeah, that's okay. And probably he just didn't want to like show it in front of all of his friends and family, you know, and tell them the origins of it.
Especially if they're conservative. Like Riley, if you were dating an art girl.
Here we go.
And you're like, hey parents, like my girlfriend's having this big show. Excited for you to see it. And then your girlfriend made an announcement that it was using little pieces of you. What would their reaction be?
I mean, I think my grandparents would be very upset. They'd be like, WTF?
Yeah.
My parents would be a little disappointed. My dad would freak out. He'd be like, this is like crazy. Why are you doing this? Like, your cum's on this painting.
I mean, when you say it like that,
When
yeah.
you put it like that.
Yeah, so like I would be like, do I know about this walking in, or am I just like,
you know about when she
Exactly
announces it.
as OP.
Exactly same as
okay,
OP.
I would be like we keep
Where did
this
you get this?
Where did you get this? And we keep this in the house. It doesn't go outside of here.
Yeah. At a minimum, not like, it's one thing to like put it in an art gallery where it's like your like parents and stuff probably aren't going through. It's another thing to put it in their faces and be like, this is my husband's seed.
Yeah, and
Planting the seeds of the fruitful tree.
And depending on like
I
how much
like
money
that.
she's getting off of it, I'd want a piece. I mean, if it's like in an exposition, like I don't know what that looks like.
I'm almost like that's kind of dope if he's on board.
Yeah, that's
Right?
a big,
It's, I think it. So I think it totally. The asshole behavior's totally changed if she just says something.
Yep.
Yes.
So like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then I think the other thing that's the asshole is showcasing it to like a conservative audience that like his
That's real
friends and
bold.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think that's maybe a little asshole-y to do that, but the cream of the crop asshole behavior is stealing his seed and not telling him.
I don't think they read the
Yeah.
room very well.
No, they did not.
No.
But, you know, some people just don't understand great art.
Apparently.
Yeah. Some people say great art's got to be controversial, whether
Yeah.
you like it or not.
Yeah. I would love to know from you guys, like, do you think this is asshole behavior? Put your answers in the comments below. And do you want to see a Riley inspired painting?
Mhm.
But your big protein's
boy.
got some big protein to throw on
Yeah,
that.
he does.
Canvas.
Milk me.
Oh,
Well, with
man.
that, John, do you have another story for us?
I do. I am going to DNA test my brother no matter what. Am I the a-hole?
What?
No matter what, how are you going to get the DNA test from your brother?
Oh, that's a good
Do
one.
we have another case of, people stealing people's seed
Without.
without consent?
Look, listen.
Stealers.
Me and Riley, we both have family from the South,
Yeah.
right? I'm looking at it and I'm like, are we related at all?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I'm like, Riley, I'm going to need a sample.
Give me a sample.
By any means
Necessary.
Come and take it, buddy.
Yeah.
I
Riley
will.
has a super spicy dream in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
How did it happen?
Who made me have the gay dream?
That's right, Riley. F around and find out, my friend. So let's dive in.
So I don't know how I'm already seeing the comments being like, "You're a bunch of like blah, blah."
Oh,
Right
What's
over
the
there. It's
deal
over
with
there.
no sex?
Our audience gets mad at us when we reference sex.
no.
We're sorry.
We have been told.
We apologize in advance. We appreciate and love you for sticking with us.
That we do. Quick edit. Sorry, I shouldn't have assumed it was obvious, but my brother consented to all of this. We've discussed it many times now.
Ah, okay,
Okay.
all right. Consent is
By
sexy,
any
y'all.
means, meaning I will ethically and for sure get his consent. There we go.
Thumbs up.
We love that. Consent is sexy. I have been waiting until I had enough money to buy a DNA kit, and oh boy, I am about to get paid, which means it's time to make a decision. My father cheated on my stepmother and made me with my biological mother. Wow. So basically, the father was with this woman who is basically his stepmom now.
Yeah.
Went off on the side, had a side piece. That's his real mom.
So he has a baby mama. That's
Yeah.
a side piece.
But the stepmom, she's like basically mothering him and married to the dad, basically.
Stepmom is mothering OP. So the baby
she's
mama.
with the father. She is his stepmother.
She is with the father. Okay.
Yes. My biological mother had a child a year before me who she initially claimed was also my father's child, but my father denied him. My biological mother has since passed away. Wow, so much so soon. So
Oh, wow.
he also had a brother the year before. It seems like the biological mother is claiming him. Mind you, this isn't the woman with his dad, in a relationship with his dad.
What?
So basically, he's like the side pieces kid, right?
Yes,
The
I
woman
understand that.
raising him as his
Yes,
mother.
yes.
The year before he was born,
OP. Year before OP was born.
his biological mother also had another kid who his biological mother was saying to
That-
OP's father, hey, this is your
This
kid.
is your kid.
But
And
the
OP's
father was
father's like,
like,
nah.
no. But the father is acknowledging that OP is
That's
his
weird.
son.
Like if you acknowledge one, why
One,
not two?
Why not the other?
I mean, it is twice the work.
It is twice the work, but at that point,
Yeah.
you're already admitting to cheating and having one.
There's
So
so much lies. I don't think he just wants to keep up with another lie.
Yeah,
Maybe. That might be
maybe.
why.
There's
Maybe he was
something-
just like, babe, I swear it was just once. And you know, once is enough to have a kid.
the math ain't quite math in here. So let's calculate. Growing up, I had no contact with this brother, but now we've connected, and I'd love to know if he is my full brother. Basically, proving the father wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. I see where this is going.
And biological mother has passed away, so they can't even just go and ask her now.
Right.
He has all of my father's feature, looking strikingly like him, so I'm sure I know what the test will say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my father is not a good man. I worry if I confirm we are siblings, it may inspire my brother to get involved with my father, despite the fact that my brother says he doesn't care that he has no father. So the brother is basically has no idea.
So Opie's almost saying like, it would be better if he didn't know he was related to my father because that man is a dick and
He's-
will only ruin his life.
Can of worms.
Can of worms.
You've got to be a bad person to be like, don't even figure out who
Yeah,
the
yeah,
father
yeah.
is. Like, you're better off
Trust
without
me,
a father
yeah,
than
yeah.
knowing this guy as your
Yeah.
father. Yikes. I'd rather spare my brother the experience of being close to my father. How likely is it that my brother won't want to reach out to my father once it's confirmed? I feel maybe like I'm being selfish by wanting the test, but to me, it's so awesome because my brother could be the closest relative that I have. Also, knowing more about the lows my father is willing to go to, it would be helpful for me personally as well. It's just another insight into who his father really is. Is it the worst thing in the world if he reaches out to my father anyways? Would I be the a-hole if I start the ball rolling on this and go for the DNA test? Carrie, Sam, everyone watching, that is the question. Would OP be the a-hole for doing the DNA test?
Kind of a multi-pronged answer that I think would be my personal rational answer in the scenario. No, they are not an asshole for getting their brother a DNA test.
Agreed.
But it's not an asshole thing to worry about whether or not the brother will reach out to the father. It's not something that OP can control. It's out of OP's control at this point, what the brother wants to do after. So that's like the difference. Like, yep, you're not an asshole for, doing the DNA test. There's logical reasons as long as you don't infringe on your brother's decision.
Exactly. Like I think OP getting the ball rolling, but not forcing anything. If the brother doesn't want to do the DNA test, then you should respect the brother's wishes. But if you say, hey, I'm doing this DNA test for me, if you want to do it too, that would be awesome. And the brother does it, then great. OP is only the asshole if like they manipulate the brother into doing something that they don't want to do.
Which from the edit in the beginning was like, hey, the brother is game for this. Like the brother doesn't mind if I do it.
I think then with that extra knowledge, OP is not the a-hole.
Here's the next quick question. How far do you go if you know that the father is just absolute bad news and you know what? You don't know exactly what's going to happen. How far do you go to kind of like protect your brother from building the relationship with the father? Or do you do anything other than just saying, he's bad news, don't contact him?
I think you just give I mean, you can't stop someone from having a relationship with their father, but you can give warnings.
Yeah.
Just say like, hey, this is my experience.
It's like, what else can you do?
There's nothing you could, the moment you start kind of controlling what OP's brother wants to do, that's when you become the a-hole.
That's when you become manipulative. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you kind of just got to have to let that be and see what happens.
That is true.
But you know what I want to see happen?
What?
I want to see us close out this monster episode with this final story.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I demanded that my deceased husband's children take a DNA test. Am I the a-hole?
Listen, give them a beat, man. They just lost their dad. Like,
at the funeral, all right? I will be taking hair samples and spit samples.
it's like, I object. Do this. And then they're like, this isn't a wedding.
Funeral.
Dude, like
We are gathered here today to bless this man. I object. Where's the DNA sample?
To what?
it's like everyone's sobbing, boo-hoo, and crying like, oh my God, now take a test.
Yeah,
Let's go,
everyone-
guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
what if,
Party
what if
favors.
she goes to she's like scooping their tears from there?
For
Like,
the
let me
DNA
take
test.
them.
Yeah. So it's like, you need a tissue, here you go.
Give it back.
Puts it in a bag.
My plan is working perfectly.
So I, 36 female, am the second/final wife of my husband, James. Saying second and final. That kind of sounds like
Yoinks.
she killed him. 39 male.
That's a whole nother Reddit story.
He passed away. And while we have a baby boy together, James had two daughters, Emma, 16 female, and Claire, 14 female, with his ex-wife, Lucy, 42 female. Lucy was the wife James's parents always wanted for him and kept pushing him to date her. James told me that while he loved Lucy, he was never in love with her and just went through the motions, and told me numerous times that he never would have married her if Lucy hadn't gotten pregnant with Emma. Ouch. James admitted to having a one-night stand with a coworker and decided that he was tired of being married to Lucy, hoping that she would initiate divorce.
That's pussy behavior if he
Yeah,
doesn't
right?
initiate
Yeah.
divorce himself.
Tell
Yeah.
him, Carrie. Tell him.
James is just like, yeah, I'm going to cheat until she divorces me.
Oh, God.
Pussy.
Pussy behavior. She wouldn't, so he eventually filed, and I met with him 2 years later. Lucy got it in her mind that I was the other woman and made it her mission to paint me as such. Rough.
Oof.
Even after James was able to prove that it was someone else, I went from an affair partner to the woman keeping James from reuniting with his family. James always defended me and even went low contact with his parents for a while. I kept trying, but after a while, it got to be too much and I decided to end things. But I did find out that I was pregnant.
Oof.
Oh.
Congratulations,
complication.
but oof.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, go,
Makes
dude.
it a little complicated. James and I decided to get married. Great. I feel James is like back to back. It's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I keep having to get married to these people that I impregnate.
Oh my
Never
goodness.
wanted to. And James's daughters did not take the news well and refused to attend the wedding, and his parents backed out at the last minute.
Wow.
Yikes.
Ooh.
James passed away in an accident later on, and I was 5 months along at the time.
Dude.
Does this all seem a little suspicious? I'm not saying that like OP killed her husband, but like, I mean, there's motive.
If someone passes away, do they usually like
Investigate.
no, like say a reason like, oh, he died in a car accident or stuff like that? Like, is that normal, or do people be
I
like,
think someone pushes for the investigation, right? Because someone's like, oh, hey, I think something happened. Or maybe if they're doing like the autopsy or something.
But they're
they're
usually,
like,
there's
right?
always
I
like,
mean-
like when someone dies. So I did a series on like death for
course you did.
Finding Founders a while ago. And even when you're in a hospice care and someone dies, they send the police to go and look and just like assess, is it natural causes?
Interesting.
Like,
Okay.
and that's the same for suicide and like all these kind of things.
Right. Wow. So is it safe to say that in all scenarios, do they try to assess if there was like foul play?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but like often it's like there's not really a reason to, so it's
Right.
a more cursory look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've heard. I imagine maybe it's like big cities, or maybe it's
It's
like, I don't know if it happens
they
as much in
know.
the
So because
countries.
if someone's living in a cabin in the woods and just goes kaputs, then how do they know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if they know,
if they know.
then they know.
Or I mean, I imagine if they die in a hospital or something.
Right.
then-
It's like, hey, we're
Yeah.
literally doing all the records and how this is the official part of the procedure.
Yeah, this was specifically what the people I was talking to, they were advocating for, instead of dying in a hospital or in a hospice, like that's like these like super curated, like well, not pristine, what's the word?
Sterile.
Like, sterile. Yeah,
Yeah.
these like super sterile environments. Like why not die at home where they're more comfortable?
Yeah.
But the process afterwards is having to have the police come and
I
make sure you
see.
didn't murder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're not saying OP murdered the parents. It's just,
Well, Sam
it's
is,
a
but-
little fishy. When Lucy showed up at the funeral, I just decided to let her in for the sake of Emma and Claire. And then Lucy loudly rehashed her old claims about me and even accused my baby of not being James's.
What?
Oh.
I had my son, and then James's parents, because OP was 5 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And then OP had her son, and James's parents only reached out to demand a paternity test. I agreed if they paid for it. And when it was revealed that James was indeed the father, suddenly they became more eager to see and speak to me.
Now their grandbaby is here.
They were shocked when I denied them access, and it wasn't until after they gave me a sincere apology that I started sending pictures. But when they asked when they could see my son in person, I told them they could have supervised visits once they started treating all their grandchildren equally in every way. James's parents set up a trust fund and started saving to put my son into a private school that I desired, just like they were doing for the girls. Then they asked again, and I said that once they sent proof that Emma and Claire were tested, they could attend my son's first birthday party.
Okay.
So basically, OP is like, you wanted a paternity test for my kid? Why don't you put paternity test for the other two kids?
Oh no, we're getting somewhere here.
Oh.
Right.
I'm a little.
So put them through the ringer, and then you could see your children.
We're getting somewhere.
James's parents were shocked, but I reminded them of my requirement for equal treatment. If my kid had to get tested, then so should Lucy's if they didn't want to miss out on the first 18 years of my son's life. James's parents felt like I was being petty, but guess what? I didn't care. Woo!
Real.
James's parents have now gone to Lucy about a DNA test, and she and the girls are refusing. So James's parents are threatening to cut them off financially. Lucy and her daughters are now blaming me, but I'm already used to the hate, so So the question is, am I the a-hole?
Nah.
I want to know what all of you think, but Carrie, John, is OP the a-hole for demanding a paternity test universally for all children?
Universal.
Basic paternity
Basic
test.
paternity
Yes,
test.
yeah.
Which actually we've advocated for on this show, like immediately when you get born, paternity test to see who's the actual father
For
There,
everyone?
for everyone.
we found that there are, I think, France and some other countries, paternity tests are
Mandatory.
literally illegal
What?
Or illegal? Oh, right, because everyone's like having
because
side
it could
pieces.
cause
It could
all
cause
of these
France
issues.
to just deteriorate.
Yes.
Why?
So
The
basically, they're
entirety
like,
of France is built on mistresses.
Yeah.
they're like, we would rather our society just be like less riddled with like all of the situations like this where it's like, oh, this person's father is not their actual father or whatever the case might be. No paternity tests.
Yeah.
Just vibes.
Just
vibes.
Just people fucking and having babies, baby.
Yep.
My God.
So what do you think? A-hole, not the a-hole?
I don't think so. I don't think she's the a-hole. I mean, OP wanted equal, kind of not responsibilities, but equal tasks distributed. I don't think it's an a-hole thing. But
Yeah.
also, I mean, another thing with can of worms, anything could possibly happen, right?
Yeah.
But
I think the thing that I feel like OP is a little bit of the a-hole because it's not affecting just Lucy and it's not affecting just the parents, it's affecting the kids who are kind of blameless in this situation, right?
Yeah. I was debating. I think I'm on the spectrum. I think I'm just below in the not the a-hole corner because like when someone honestly, I kind of wonder if OP is even I almost feel like OP is like making them jump through all these hoops because it's like, listen, I went through all of this disrespect and like all of this stuff. I'm just gonna like keep throwing up loops the same way, like indirectly, but the same way you kind of like threw all of these like BS reasons to disrespect me.
And
Right.
just because I don't want a relationship with
Because
you.
I don't. Yeah, it's like,
No.
let me keep giving you these impossible challenges. Along the way, get a fund for my child, for your grandchild to set you up. So I totally understand the thing of like, look, if you're going to disrespect me, like,
I'm
hey,
gonna
we're going
disrespect
two
you.
ways. I'm going to disrespect you. But I also totally see what you're saying, that there are innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
You would agree that the kids are blameless, right?
They are.
No, they
They
are.
are. Yes.
And I feel like they are like maybe Lucy deserves it a little bit, but I feel like kids are. I mean, maybe I guess the kids did hate on OP.
Wait,
too.
what did Lucy deserve though? Was
Because
Lucy a bad, apart from the funeral of where she said stuff to OP, what did Lucy actually do that was,
'Cause
aside
Lucy
from
was the
first wife?
first wife, right?
So basically, when Lucy showed up at the funeral, this is to rehash. When Lucy showed up at the funeral, I just decided to let her in for the sake of Emma and Claire. And then Lucy loudly rehashed her old claims about me and even accused my baby of not being James's. So Lucy is like, yo, that kid ain't even James's kid because OP cheated. And so now OP is like, okay, if you're going to say that I cheated and you want to be like in the family unit and like, and the parents want to be
Gotcha.
in the family unit, then test her kids too. Test Lucy's kids.
I wonder if there's another way to like it, probably not something equally equivalent, but something that like still kind of like gets the dig at Lucy without involving the
The
children.
kids.
But also to your point again earlier, the children were also hating on OP too, right? Which I could see the animosity because maybe the other kids are like,
Yeah.
my dad left my mom for you. So
So maybe there is a little animosity, but it's like justified. Like,
yeah,
they
didn't. It doesn't seem like we have any evidence of the kids coming at OP like Lucy. came
Yeah,
at
like
OP.
egregiously.
Yeah.
So I think if OP was doing something that didn't involve the kids but digged at Lucy, I would say like totally not the asshole, totally fine.
Yeah.
But because of this, I think just teetering over a little bit.
Yeah.
Mostly not the a-hole, like maybe 2% a-hole from.
Go all the way. Don't
I'm
be on the
teetering
fence.
on
the-
You guys are on the fence too much. Come on. Like,
What do you think, Riley?
I'm on not the a-hole. I'm
Overall, I'm not the a-hole. Overall.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Overall, not the a-hole.
What do you think?
Totally the a-hole.
Really?
Okay. Here's my thing. What is gained if the kids are, you figure out who's from who? That just complicates things because they're like you said, Sam, the kids have nothing to do with this. And it's just between two women pointing fingers at each other about like, da 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 da.
Okay,
Like
well,
OP was
Let
like,
me counter you with this.
Okay.
Let me counter you with this. If those two kids are not biologically related to the dead father, they have an alive father somewhere out there. So
Okay.
OP getting a DNA test could show the kids who the real father is. And then it's like, shit, dad round 2.
and
yeah.
if the test it shows it's James, then it's fine because
Yeah.
we already knew this.
Yeah.
But like the immediate caretakers are going to be like, oh, this is from this husband in this situation, yada, yada, yada. And it's going to be like a bunch of like, the kid's just going to have a lot of stress on them growing
Yes,
up.
it will,
because
yes.
the kid- I
100%.
do agree.
No
I
one
think
wins.
the kids will be stressed. But the thing is, like, OP isn't saying, you kids go get DNA tests. OP is saying it to the parents.
Yes.
Right? Where it's just like, basically like, go do what you did to us.
Yeah.
To the kids. But I guess what it actually, to go contrast my point, it is already affecting the kids because the parents are like, no inheritance for you.
Exactly.
So the question is,
Kind of stuck.
tiebreaker. Every single person watching here, put down below for story number 5, is OP the a-hole or
You know,
not?
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say asshole. I'm gonna go
And
back.
I'm on not the a-hole. I think
All right,
we're
let's
I'm
split.
not the a-hole.
we
Yeah.
are
Asshole.
literally 50-50 split. You all have to be the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below.
Please let us know in the comments.
If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.